12-year-old stole his father's car, and I'm the proudest mom ever. I was in a meeting when the hospital called saying Henry had driven himself and his 4-year-old brother Oliver to the emergency room where Henry was being questioned by police about grand theft auto. I ran out of the conference room and drove 20 miles in 15 minutes while calling my husband's phone over and over, but he wasn't answering. And when I burst into the emergency room, I found Henry sitting with 2 police officers. "Where's Oliver?" I shouted. "Where is your brother?" "He's back there in the room," Henry said, jumping up. "Why were you driving?" I asked him. "With your brother in the car? You're 12 years old. What were you thinking?" But Henry said, "Mom, he couldn't breathe and his face was swelling up and Dad wouldn't wake up." And I froze. Just then my phone rang and it was my husband, his voice thick and slurred. "Where the hell are the boys? I just woke up and the house is empty and my car is gone." "You just woke up," I screamed into the phone, putting it on speaker. "It's 4 in the afternoon. Oliver ate something with peanuts and started turning blue," Henry said, talking so fast the words tumbled over each other while the officers leaned in to listen. I tried to wake Dad up, but he was passed out on the couch and wouldn't open his eyes no matter how hard I shook him. "That's not true," my husband shouted through the phone. "I was just resting for a minute." "A minute?" Henry yelled back. "You'd been unconscious for over an hour. I was screaming in your ear and slapping your face and you didn't even move." The officers exchanged glances and started writing in their notebooks while my husband tried to defend himself. "I was tired from work. I dozed off. That's all." "You were drinking since breakfast," Henry said, and everyone in the room went quiet. "You had the bottle of whiskey on the coffee table and kept pouring it in your mug while watching TV." "That's a lie," my husband slurred. "I had maybe 1 beer with lunch." "It was 10 in the morning when you started," Henry shot back. "You told me to watch Oliver while you relaxed, and you just kept drinking and drinking." One of the officers stepped closer to the phone. "Sir, this is Officer Walker. How much alcohol did you consume today?" "I don't have to answer that," my husband said. "My son stole my car. That's grand theft auto. Arrest him." "Dad, Oliver was dying," Henry screamed, tears streaming down his face. His throat was closing up and he was making these horrible wheezing sounds. "You should have called an ambulance," my husband yelled. "I did," Henry said. "They said 15 minutes and Oliver's face was already purple. He would have been dead in 15 minutes." The doctor came out and I immediately grabbed her arm. "Oliver Miller, how is he?" "He's stable, but it was extremely close," she said, looking at the officers. "Another 5 minutes and that child would have died. Whoever drove him here saved his life." "You hear that?" I shouted at the phone. "Henry saved Oliver's life while you were passed out." "I wasn't passed out," my husband insisted, but his words were slurring together. "I was just deeply asleep." "From drinking an entire bottle of Jack Daniels?" I demanded. "Henry, how much did he drink?" "The big bottle from the cabinet was full this morning and it was empty when I tried to wake him up," Henry said, and the officers were writing furiously now. "That's impossible," my husband shouted. "The bottle was already half empty." "No, it wasn't," Henry said. "I saw you open the seal this morning. You said it was your day off and you deserve to relax." "Sir, we're going to need you to come to the hospital," Officer Walker said into the phone. "We have questions about child endangerment." "Child endangerment?" my husband screamed. "My 12-year-old stole my car and drove it. He could have killed someone." "I stayed in the right lane the whole time," Henry protested. "I was careful. You ran 3 red lights according to traffic cameras," the other officer said, reading from his notes. "Because Oliver was turning blue," Henry said. "I could barely hear him breathing anymore." "That's still illegal," my husband shouted. "I want him arrested. He's a thief and a danger to society." "You want our 12-year-old arrested for saving his brother's life?" I screamed at the phone. "While you were too wasted to wake up? Your son committed grand theft auto," the officer said to me. "Your husband wants to press charges, and the state has mandatory prosecution guidelines." "He's 12 years old," I said. "His brother was dying." "The law doesn't make exceptions based on age," the officer said, pulling out handcuffs. "If the father presses charges, we have to arrest him." "I'm pressing charges," my husband slurred. "That car cost $30,000. Our son's life is worth less than your car," I screamed. "He's a criminal," my husband yelled. "He needs to learn consequences, like the consequences of being passed out while our 4-year-old goes into anaphylactic shock," I shot back. The officer moved toward Henry with the cuffs. "Turn around, son." "Mom," Henry said, his voice small and terrified as he backed away from the officer. "Please," I begged, stepping between them. "He saved his brother's life. You can't arrest him for that. Your husband is the victim of the theft, and he's demanding prosecution," the officer said. "My hands are tied." Henry started crying as the officer grabbed his wrist. "Mom, help me!" Full story on the channel below.